Pledge of allegiance.
All rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tim?
It's recording, yep.
Okay,
Mine says recording.
next item is roll call. Mr. Hugh and Mr. Olson are not with us tonight. All other members are present. Was the meeting properly notified?
Yes, it was.
Okay, this is our opportunity for public comment, but I don't see that the public is
Here.
beating the door down.
Greg might have
I guess I would make one early announcement that I received a note about 4:30 this afternoon that Representative Staffholt won't be with us tonight. He has asked that maybe we could consider having him at our next meeting. I don't know the board's feeling is for that, or do we want to push him back to the regular meeting at the end of September?
Yeah, it's fine. Just have him come whenever it's convenient.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. With that, I don't believe we have a highlight on youth tonight. So let's move on to, we have scheduled meeting, presentation from on our counteract grant from Chief Coltrane, but I don't see him here yet either, so he may be still driving around the squad car. They had the fire trucks going by about 6:15, 6:30 tonight, so
Oh, wow.
he may be busy with that. So if he comes, then we'll indulge and have him report to us. With that, then we will get into our financial reports.
And the treasurer's report's not clickable on my version, so I left it paper copy.
Oh,
I don't have
Paper
any
copy
on
right here.
Thank you. Bank account balances as of 7/31/2018. Citizen state checking, $2,183,298.24. Citizens money market, $5,571.24. Citizens money market fund 46, $50.98. Citizens money market suicide prevention fund, $17,390.05. American Deposit Management referendum proceeds, $193,427.34. For total bank account balances of $2,399,937.85.
Okay. Do I have a motion to
accept the treasurer's report as presented.
second?
Okay, I have a motion, Kirk, second, Jeff, to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Pam, I was in the preliminary, so it opens on the.
It does open on the file, oh good, they just told me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they need to be logged into Google or something?
Just wanted to mention too, Paulette Anderson, wanted to just share this, fall community education classes list, for your, review and information.
Okay. Any questions or comments on the offerings?
Good stuff.
No, it was nice.
Being pretty successful, so.
Again, also under, just as long as we're making a few comments here. Again, we were awarded $32,612 for part one of the DOJ school safety grants. And now part two is open and they do it by enrollment. How much you're eligible for with our 1,669 students. And our enrollment, that makes us eligible for up to 92,145, and it is due the end of this month. So we'll do a really quick turnaround here in the next 10 or so days and get submitted This part also wants a little more emphasis on training and mental health and trauma sensitive schools and things like that, and more security enhancement things, so we'll get that written quickly.
I sent you that thing on, the,
Alert.
first responder thing. So now they've expanded it that it, connects with the video cameras,
Really?
so also connects to fire. So if there's a fire call, the fire department can see in the cameras before they go in the building. And it'll really help with false alarms. They still have to roll, but you know, when they get a fire call at school, then
It's a lot of square footage to figure out where.
everybody goes. So it's a pretty cool thing. Hudson's doing it, River Falls, it's about 23,000 for 3 years. I mean, that's a one-time 3-year fee, so it's not tremendously expensive. That'd be for all 3 of our buildings plus the district office. So, just something to look at.
Okay.
A lot of, I think Hudson and River Falls are trying to use their grant money to pay for that.
So the first grant, Tim, was more on just safety items, right? Because then you had said we'd already done a lot of that,
Correct.
but now this one is more flexible, it sounds like.
A little bit more. It's actually not, it's just more of the same security, plus they mandate that we get TSS training and make school safety teams and have a formal school safety team and
Okay.
plan.
Which is just continuing what you've already
Yeah.
done.
Okay. Then the next item on the agenda is consideration of our consent agenda, which consists of Wage and Betterment Committee meeting minutes from June 11th, Wage and Benefit Committee meeting minutes from June 25th, SCC Board minutes from July 16th, and our learning special meeting of August 6th, also approval of the monthly bills for August 2018, approval of resignations and retirement. Rebecca Myers as our 7-hour elementary special ed para, John Lee Buckle as our middle school volleyball coach, Jean Bringold as our track and field assistant coach, Cheryl Longen, our 3-hour elementary assistant cook number 2, approval of contract, appointments and modifications, Lynn Cadwell, of 7.5-hour high school head cook, Luann O'Connell is a 3-hour elementary assistant cook number 2, Ryan Wood is our FBLA director. Also approval of the 66-301 agreement for physical therapy with Baldwin, Woodville Area School District, Prescott, and School District of Somerset. So, do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, Scott, second, Kirk, to accept the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. So the bills got shipped around. Okay. Then we'll go with our administrative reports. Do we have anything there?
Nope.
Okay, then we go on, key work for our school board, starting with our student, staff, and community recognition.
Blake Coleman for recognition. Congratulations on advancing to individual finals at the National Trap Shoot Championship. Patty Schochner, thank you for coming to the August 6th board meeting and discussing student safety and school finance. We appreciate your efforts in advocating for fair funding for schools like SCC below the state average. Thank you to Jen Klushhold and the district office staff. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to excellence and accuracy in preparing, managing, and tracking the district budget. This is evidenced by another successful independent audit and preparing the 2018-19 budget for the annual meeting. Recognition, Caitlin Holmgren. Congratulations on being selected as having one of the top 3 essays in Wisconsin for the Global Youth Institute World Food Prize and earning the opportunity to participate in the 3-day Global Youth Institute in October. And recognition of the entire SCC trap team. Congratulations on advancing to the team finals at the National Trap Shoot Championship.
Okay. Well, congratulations to all those participants in the national trap event. Did very well. Quite impressed with our 3rd place winner. Get 200 in a row was quite an achievement.
I think they may have all gotten a 25 at some point at nationals.
Some of them had several.
Yeah.
So it did well. Congratulations to all. Okay, the next item on the agenda is our annual report on bullying behavior trends and recommendations by Pupil Services Director Pat Bash. So, Pat?
Okay. So I think you had a copy of my report for this year. Bullying is defined as deliberate or intentional behavior using words or actions intending to cause fear, intimidation, or harm. And bullying is a repeated behavior and involves imbalance of power. Now, bullying can occur between students and staff, adults, or between adults. And there's physical, verbal, social, and cyberbullying that have been identified as the major types of 4 categories of bullying. On the second page of the report, we have the elementary, middle school, and high school documentation for the 2017-18 school year. I have indicated that there were 2 documented incidents at the elementary school, and that compares to in 2015-16 there were 62 incidents. In 16-17 there were 23, so we are definitely moving in the right direction. Both of the incidents at the elementary school were student on staff bullying. There is only 1 individual who was the bully, and that number has also gone down from 20 in 2015-16, 2016-17 there were 9. It was verbal bullying, and as a response to that, the child was retaught the expectations from the classroom teacher, and the child was in a time out or time away situation. At the middle school, there were 6 documented incidents in 2017-18 as compared to 34 in 15-16 and 0 in 16-17. All of the incidents involve student-on-student bullying. There were 6 students involved as the bully, as compared to 7 in 15-16 and 0 in 16-17. There was verbal, there was physical, verbal, social, and cyberbullying that were involved in these 6 incidents.
I guess a question for you, Pat, if
Sure.
I may interrupt, is we have 6 students that accounted for 12 incidents. Am I reading that right in middle school?
6 incidents.
6 incidents total?
Yes.
But they could be,
They could involve
Involve
multiple
two
parts,
different
they could be physical and
Okay.
verbal, they could be.
I was under the impression that there were 12 reportable incidents from 6 students, which tells me that they probably didn't learn for the first time.
I-
6 and 6.
And I don't know if this is involved in multiple families, or this is a family thing, or just a student thing, or it's probably information that I'm not entitled to have, but,
And truthfully, information that I do not have
okay,
at this point either.
okay.
just know.
I asked the question, I may not be entitled to the information, but I'll ask the question.
Each of the students had discussions with the principal or assistant principal, as well as, there were after-school detentions and, letters of apology. They were written as well in these cases. At the high school, there were just 2 documented incidents, as there were 2 incidents in 15-16 and 16-17 as well. Both of those incidents involved student-on-student bullying, and there were just 2 students that were identified as the bully. In these situations too, there were discussions with the either principal or assistant principal, as well as in-school and out-of-school suspensions for the students. Yes,
Couple questions. Does the bullying need to occur at school?
no, it does not.
And the other question is, if it's a first time incident, I'm thinking an elementary school kid hurts another kid, that's considered bullying? Or is it considered bullying after multiple?
After multiple incidents,
Okay, they're attacking the same child.
yes, yes.
I guess the next question that I would have, is our data is showing that we're decreasing, bullying significantly in the district. I guess the question is, our youth risk assessment that we run, are the students feeling the same way about it, on the data? Or, are they still feeling that pressure that they're being bullied more than, what is being reported?
Maybe they don't report it, cause a student must report it, or someone must find out about it
Yes,
somehow,
right.
right? First.
I do not have the youth risk survey results off the top of my head. At this point, my best guess is that there are still some students who are not reporting, that they are feeling bullied, but given the amount of instruction and discussion that is occurring at the elementary, middle school, and high school levels, as well as the PBIS efforts to encourage students to come forward, to be respectful of other students, to report what is happening around them. I am hoping that there are fewer students that are feeling that way. I will need to get back to you about what we see as trends with kids reporting or not reporting.
Okay.
I would think the risk survey this year would tell you, what students felt the prior year.
Howard, in regards to that question, it's not the youth risk survey, but we did a fall and spring, and on the student survey, we were about 90%, like 88% kids said they felt safe at school, respected. So I mean, that tells you there's about 11.5% who didn't feel strongly that way, but that's still pretty good correlation to what we had.
Yeah,
Jason?
we'd like to get that 100%, but I don't know if it's our ultimate goal. I don't know if we can achieve it, but I would like to think we could.
Jason, has there been other surveys at the high school that would reflect?
We've done some surveys, but not in that specific capacity. So we look at the mental health surveys that we send out, because we compare that data with how the kids are interacting amongst their peers. With high school kids, it gets really difficult because they hide a lot of stuff, and a lot of the stuff that happens with high schoolers is online. And even in the instance that I documented, it was a lot of legwork to get what actually happened. So it took a week just to get the information out of the kids and talk to all the kids on what actually happened to piece it together. And it's like a witch hunt all the time. So social media is ridiculous. The amount of bullying that happens probably on social media would blow up everybody's documentation in schools.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet there's a ton, but they don't say.
And the kids don't, we're trying to work with PBIS to get kids to open up more, but it's really hard because some of them are ashamed by it, some of them don't want to tell people because it gets worse. It's hard to walk that line, but we're trying to connect in that regards to teach kids how to be proactive in defending themselves online or just shutting off, disconnecting. So we're trying to approach our cyber use in a different way. So we're trying to keep up with that with PBIS stuff and initiatives.
There's sometimes a fine line between defending yourself and becoming the
Correct.
bully.
So those when we talk about respecting others, how we interact with each other, teaching kids that it's okay to have difference of opinion, but how we discuss it is what matters. And especially when you talk about high school kids that have opinions and want to express those, when they start finding out their identity, they get really passionate about certain topics. So it's about getting them to understand how to have a respectful conversation about it.
You talk about limiting anonymity. If you're gonna say it,
Yeah,
own up to it.
yeah, and with that too, again, with any bully, there's a lot of people that wanna do the passive aggressive route and bully without putting their name to it. And it's all, so we've done, one great thing that we did is, prior to last year, there were a lot of sites that would pop up specific to the middle border, Twitter pages that were run by anonymous individuals. And last year we had one instance of one of those sites pop up, that one of our own students created, but our own students figured out who it was and they put a stop to it right away. So
Self-policing.
they kinda, they're aware of it and they know it's wrong, and I think that message is getting out to kids. So they're starting to stand up for each other, which is good, so it helps shut it down a lot faster.
I look at social media and stuff like that, some of the things that are said are unbelievably stupid.
And the kids are,
You know, and they think just because they say it, they can say it and
Yeah.
it will go away. And they don't realize that it's now a permanent record.
yeah, and the one thing that,
Access.
one thing to go with that too is kids are really, really smart, and they find ways to tailor their emails to each other or social media posts through the school stuff where it won't get picked up by our filters. So they'll twist the language or asterisk thing out to get to the person and still bully them or cyberbully them through our own stuff still. So we're working on teaching etiquette to kids, and also trying to encourage kids to come forward and just have a conversation about it. So
Well, that goes to the old thing is if you don't like it, make a rule against it. Somebody always figure out a way around the rule.
Yeah. always.
So, okay. Is there anything else we need to discuss on this part of the report?
No.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. And we'll go on to the next report that you have.
Okay, 17-18 seclusion and restraint report. Seclusion is involuntary confinement of a student away from other students in a room or area where the student is not permitted to leave. And physical restraint is some type of restriction that immobilizes the child, reduces their ability to move freely. Seclusion and restraint are only used in our school district as an absolute last resort. If the child is going to hurt him or herself or others, we may use seclusion and restraint. Other than that, we use less intensive methods to help the behavior. Seclusion, there were 57 incidents in the 17-18 school year. There were 3 students, all 3 of them had disabilities. All of these incidents occurred at the elementary school, which does not surprise me. It's typical for the kids that are 4K, kindergarten, first grade level, that are not able to control their impulses and their behavior. Those are the kids that we sometimes need to do a seclusion with. Obviously, our numbers have gone down significantly since the 2013-14 school year. We've moved up a little bit again this year. Given the 3 students that we were dealing with even with our best attempts to figure out what are the triggers that occur that lead to the behaviors that we need to seclude, we still had difficulties. I can tell you that we had significantly positive responses as the year went on, so that is good. Physical restraint, there was only one physical restraint in the school district last year, which is terrific. And I do think that the reduction of seclusions and restraints that we've had over the years is very much so related to our staff being much more able to observe kids, understand what it is that it sets them off, being able to identify the behaviors that lead to the extreme behaviors early enough that we can start intervening with them before kids really get upset.
Are we talking just lack of maturity in students? Are we talking about autistic students that are set off by something, or other?
We're talking about kids who have significant mental health issues and or disabilities.
With
Ele-
that, oh, I'm sorry.
A high number like the 586, I know a lot of that's attributable to better recognition but I would expect that some of that's driven by one or two students that might not be in the district anymore or might have matured out of that behavior. Is that fair
Yes.
to assume? Yeah.
With that, the trauma stuff, does that relate probably to some of those students
Yes,
as well?
yes,
So then
very
that-
much so. Some of those kids who have the mental health
Yeah,
concerns,
because they have trauma backgrounds.
you bet, you bet.
But Pat, I would like to also, in regards to Scott's comment, I think of, being involved in that high number as a principal, there is one of those students that was involved in a lot of those that year that had 0 this year at the middle school. He hasn't left district, but the way Mrs. Nelichek and the special ed crew works with him, he feels much safer, and they are very cognizant of triggers, warning signs. They just did an amazing job handling this young man.
And Human Services has also been involved with that particular family for a number of years. Just the wraparound that we've done with that child's family has been truly positive, been very rewarding. The whole family is functioning better.
That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's helps society as a whole. So,
Yeah, I have been asked to go to Children Come First, the conference, the state conference in November, to discuss that particular situation.
okay,
Yeah.
any more questions for Pat
I'd
then?
like to applaud the direction that both of these reports are clearly going and all the work that you guys have put into it.
Yeah, because I know numbers of special ed students aren't going down, so it's fantastic to see this.
Thank you.
No. And I'll reiterate the opinion of the board, that thank you for your hard work, and thank you for the direction that we're moving on this. I think we're making positive strides, and I think it speaks well for the district as a whole, so thank you for your hard work. Okay, the next item on the agenda is approval of an increase for the adult breakfast meal price from $1.40 to $1.80, and for the 2018-19 school year per DPI requirements. Information there, Tim?
Yes, so Tammy Simonson contacted us, and again, per DPI, the adult meal price needs to be at least 38 cents higher than the highest student price. So in this case, the minimum price for adults would need to be $1.78. For record keeping ease, she just rounded it up to $1.80.
So moved.
Okay, a motion and a Jeff, second Scott, to approve the price increase for breakfast. Any further discussion?
Just out of curiosity, do we know a utilization rate on adult breakfast?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Minimal?
Yes, yeah, just for observations, wouldn't you agree?
High school minimal,
Unless they were selling coffee.
not zero.
You can't get a breakfast at McDonald's for that price.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda is consideration of the additional girls golf coach, which we discussed last meeting 2 weeks ago.
So I shared a document with you, it's called, it should be in your email, called Third Girls Golf Coach Recommendation. So I've had lots of conversations with Jen, Tim, Brian Pedersen, Pam over the last week or since we last met. And I have a breakdown in that for you, comparing what hiring a bus driver and a bus cost would be to hiring the third coach, and also the why I give the recommendation to the third coach. So in here's the cost breakdown. To run a bus to practice is $18.06 an hour for 2 hours because of a 2-hour bus driver minimum fee. And there's 31 days of practice. Then you add that to 8 meets that are at Pheasant Hills, which is another 2 hours at $18.06 an hour. And then 8 meets that require travel and the bus to stay. So you have to pay the driver for all of that. And this does not include team sectionals. And then you add $10 a day for fuel and $1 for mileage, which Jen said came to $310. So really total investment for a bus and driver would be $2,410. If we hire the third coach, which per the coaching pay model scale is $2,500, that would help in a lot of capacities. So under bullet point 2, role of the C team coach. Right now, currently there's 21 girls out for girls golf. It would require 3 vans to transport them. The plan for practice would be to take 2 vans to utilize the third for whatever necessity the district has. The third coach would then shuttle or go back and shuttle the remainder of the kids back up to Pheasant Hills and then take on coaching capacity. It also helps in meets. So when we can only take a maximum of 5 girls per level, and right now we have varsity and JV level, which is 10 girls. So the other 11 girls would have to either not do anything or just sit and whatever, practice golf on their own with their parents. The third coach would stay behind and give continued instruction at Pheasant Hills during those meets for the other 11 girls. So hiring a coach has multiple benefits for the same cost. And then the third bullet point of cutting coaches, we are going down to 3 levels guaranteed per sport, which means 3 levels of volleyball, 3 levels of basketball, 3 levels of baseball, so we're consistent, and this would be in alignment with that, where there'd be 3 coaches for technically 3 levels or a C team golf plus some with supervision. And because of those 3 levels, we have budgeted for, but are now cutting out the JV2 boys basketball coach and the extra C team volleyball coach, which we've hired 2 C team coaches before, leaving $5,000 of room that was already budgeted for, and this would basically supplement that cost. We'd still be in the black $2,500.
Are the volleyball numbers remaining the same on C team though?
The volleyball team and the basketball teams will be enacting the cutting policy that we recommended and was approved last year. Mindy's already done that. She's down to 3 levels, and they will be having their first quad tomorrow.
Okay. I guess a couple of questions for you, Jason, then
Yep.
would be, we do have the vans available
Correct.
to do this. We're talking 2 vans, 3 vans?
For some meets, it might be 3 vans if they're taking everybody. Otherwise, it would be 2 vans on a consistent basis. And I talked with Brian extensively today about the bus driver versus vans.
Okay.
He said having a bus driver, he has one that we can utilize for a certain student that we need to transport every day, but it wouldn't be consistent every day. So there would be no guarantee that the girls would be able to utilize a bus to get to practice every single day, or get to meets on those days. So the vans are really the best option, and that was Brian's recommendation as well. And we would just follow the policies we've been using for golf.
We don't need a CDA or anything for the coaches to be driving vans in? Or-
No.
Okay, the next question goes to the cutting policy that we developed.
Correct.
One of the reasons was the numbers, but we were also going to have opportunities for intramural.
Correct. I'm working with
Leagues.
Becky Sundin. Her daughter has spearheaded last spring starting an intramurals program. And we have already blocked off open gym times for intramural volleyball for this fall. So when school starts, we'll be giving the opportunity for anybody really that wants to participate in intramural volleyball league to take part.
Men and women, boys and girls.
Correct.
And just for the record, volleyball didn't have to cut anybody, only 38, I think it was.
So they're really cut by attrition.
Tried out, and they took a little larger groups. For instance, varsity is 14, 15 with one girl that's injured out for the season. But so yeah, I think
Yep.
just
And cross country is not enacting that policy, so there's the opportunity for girls to participate in cross country as well.
Cause that was my question, that like, oh, well, the large teams are discouraging players, whereas the golf team is taking everybody, like that doesn't seem equal.
Technically, if
opportunity.
there's only 2 levels of girls golf, so really they have room to grow, whereas bigger teams don't. And I'd rather grow the programs that need to grow than continue to provide for resources and time for programs that have capped out and those players won't come to fruition anyway. And we had that big discussion last year about the cutting policy. And really we've never had to actually cut kids. They've already through attrition and not just going out and doing other things. So the biggest thing will be in basketball. Our wrestling numbers have been atrocious.
Small.
Very, very small. Very, very small. We can't fill weights. We can't fill a whole team. It's affecting us in points. And with the cutting policy in place for boys basketball, it might actually help programs that are weakening. So there are opportunities. It's just if kids want to try it or not.
Well, I know that works with the opportunities in wrestling because I had 2 decided they'd rather wrestle than play
Yep.
basketball. So,
My kid ain't wrestling. I'll tell you that.
So my recommendation is to hire a third coach. It helps with buses, and all the people that were stakeholders in this decision I believe are in alignment and approve that recommendation as well.
okay,
And it's fiscally responsible because there's room for money.
okay, so with that, we have the numbers that we asked for the, on the budget. We're within the budget that we have, and we have the recommendation. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve a third golf coach.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, Jeff, second Tricia, to hire a third girls golf coach for 2018-19 school year. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda then is approval of Dan Rood as that additional girls golf coach for 2018-19 school year.
Reopen nomination.
I'm like, now we're going too far.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, Jeff, second Scott, to approve Dan Rood as the additional girls golf coach for 2018-19 school year. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda is our WASB Fall Regional Meeting, which I believe everybody got that as Exhibit 14A, which includes pre-meeting workshops, which are always optional, available. Our regional meeting will be at Florian Gardens on September 27th. Not sure what offerings are being offered at that meeting, but I think you can find it on a WASB website. Or if you receive mailings at home, those will be available,
Emails.
so. Okay, so if you're interested in attending the meeting, then make sure that you get a hold of Pam so we can get everybody registered. I know I will be attending.
Pam will go too.
Didn't you send out an invite or something for that? 'Cause I remember clicking yes or something.
Was that the effective school board one?
Maybe. I will check my calendar and I'll,
Okay.
So,
I'd like to go.
this one is Thursday night, September 27th. And I don't know if John said he's interested or not yet. I don't know how his schedule works out. So, but it's usually a good meeting. We will be electing a director to the WASB Board of Directors for a 3-year term. The incumbent is Billy Ing Senior, Durant, Arkansas School District. He has an opportunity to serve one more term. And, however, if anybody else is interested in jumping on the bandwagon, they can file nomination papers, I believe, yet, and jump on it. I haven't seen any interest here, so Bill's done a good job for us.
And if elected, he will move into leadership of the whole, of the board, so.
Yeah.
It's a good guy to have on our team.
So, okay, is there any other business we need to discuss at this time? Okay,
Did Chief Coltrane contact us? Let us know he was.
no, but I can,
Oh, but you had said the fire.
yeah, but I think what I believe he was coming to talk about, but Pam gave me a newsletter here about the Counteract grant. There is a publication that Pam gave me. It says, for many years, Hammond Police Department has partnered with the St. Croix Central School District to educate the 5th graders on the harmful effects of drugs and alcohol through a program, Counteract. In the past, the school district purchased materials and t-shirts which are handed out at the completion of the 6-week course. But as budgets have become tighter, funds for the program are becoming more difficult to obtain. The Hammond Police Department is not able to financially fund the program due to budget constraints that we put, and will put a commitment to the community grant toward the curriculum of the Counteract program. Commitment to the community grant, the mission, the commitment to community grant is to demonstrate St. Croix County or St. Croix Electric Cooperative's cooperative values to the local commitment to service by helping others in serving unmet humanitarian, social, and educational needs within our general service area. And therefore, they have received a grant for, I believe, for $180, I think is what they received toward that. So, I think that's what he was going to talk about, but I'm unclear on that. So,
That is, he had approached me to come to this meeting. I was the one that contacted Pam on his behalf. He wanted to share that and speak to exactly what you just
so,
read, so.
okay, so, it's a continuation of a program that has been going with 5th grade. And, so, it's nice to see that we have monies available to continue that, so. Okay, is there anything else that we need to cover in other business?
Pam, I texted John, he said he would like to go to the WASB, so asked you to please register.
Okay, with nothing else on the agenda, we'll go over the important upcoming dates. This Wednesday, August 22nd, we will have an open house in the district from noon till 8 p.m. On August 29th, we will have an all-staff professional development day beginning at 7:30 a.m. in the SCC High School Commons area. I typically will give a talk. I believe John is there.
I can't come this year.
So I don't know if anybody else is interested.
I teach 8 AM.
Okay, so I believe John will be there also.
That'd be nice.
Let's reset if I remember right.
Okay. September 10th will be our next SCC Board Learning and Special Meeting at 6:30. Based on conversations here, I will send an invitation to representative staff shall attend that meeting if possible. We will offer him the alternative of our September 24th meeting, which is our next meeting to be held here at 7 o'clock in the district office. And then September 27th is our WASB regional meeting at Eau Claire at the Flooring Gardens. So is there any other dates that I've missed at this time? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to convene in closed session per Wisconsin State Statute 1985 1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. This has to do with our annual superintendent's performance review. So do I have a motion?
Second?
We have a motion, Kirk, second, Jeff, to go into closed session. Roll call vote. Aye.
Aye.
Alright,
Aye.
Okay. At this point, let's take a 5-minute break.